begging for help here? I'm so not kidding. I would love to say Philly's an awesome place, but it isn't, is it? I want to be nice, but I can't. Putt-putt golf over there? Is it for the free or the imprisoned? I don't know. I guess they have a mix, is what they're saying. Franklin Square, named after Benjamin Franklin. Apparently he invented electricity with some sort of kite and lightning. Do you believe that? Do you believe there's a man on the moon? I don't know what to believe. I do know people can be puppeted. It's bad. So anyway, I try to be nice, but my case is so bad, and it should be a case. And we're still waiting for Philly to fess up. So anyway, I can see the parkade from here. It looks really pretty. It's the parking garage that has glass as like shutters, if you will, and it reflects light and looks different at different times of day. We'll go because they keep playing pretty good music from my era, actually. Had a little tear-jerking moment there because I have to fend it off. So we'll just have a moment of silence. There's something to cry about. Porta potties. And do you have a place to go home to, or are people in Philadelphia willing to leave you out in the cold after they raped your ass to death? It smells like a little bit of gas here, so I'm curious where that came from. Philly's had a lot of gas lately. Is that another entryway to the... Is this part of it or no? There's another thing here. I don't know that it connects to the Franklin. I don't know that it really does that, but it looks closed up, like there's a fence around it. So for some reason, as soon as I said Best Life and Beyond, Spencer and Kate, all of a sudden tears came, you know. I love watching their videos just because I'd rather have Best Life and Beyond's life. They've had certain types of lives. They're able to do what they do because of that. Totally different than the way I grew up. It sounds like they were in the world of entertainment, working on sets. You know, I grew up in very traditional, very reserved, very conservative. You know, you're supposed to like just go to school and get a job at like a bank or you know, or related to your degree. And I would say never pursue writing unless, yeah, I just, you know, if you want to make money and be able to afford a house and be able to protect yourself when you're a senior citizen, I would say do not pursue writing. I hate to be that kind of person, but just from experience, you have to be connected to very specific people to make a living doing that. I might have a special case, you know, we're talking Monarch Butterfly, MK Ultra. Emergency exit only, station entrance located at 7th and Race. So they have an emergency exit here. That's interesting, but I wonder if it's open all the way. I guess it would have to be for an emergency. Although in Philly, you never know. There's a lot of Trappist activity going on. So I would wonder if it's totally locked down and there would be an emergency and people are like, we're supposed to be able to get out here. I'm sure they're doing something here. In Franklin Square, oftentimes there will be special events. There's the Chinese Lantern Festival. I don't know when that is, but we're walking this way for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it's a little bit further away from. We'll do a quick turn around here. 408 Millville, that sounds about right. Someone said, oh, they put you on Franklin Mills. They put you on Franklin Mills. Yeah. You're trying to find a life, and other people force you onto a path, and you just keep like churning out through all these mills, not getting paid enough. All right, here's another. You know what? These are part of the new system, I guess. I'm trying to remember if I ever noticed these before, but we'll go with it. I used to take care of a dog all the way over there in the building behind this bus. 501 Vine or 509 Vine, I forget. There's a lot of traffic over the bridge here. Vine Street Expressway, the Vine Street exit. They're closing an exit, by the way, by Penn's Landing for 2 years while they finish a brand new renovation of that whole area. Anyway, also emergency exit only. So there it is. It feels cool here at least. But anyway, I walked a dog there. The problem is a really weird, bizarre, eccentric situation. Involved a guy who was a lawyer who worked on a big case for fire. And then his house caught on fire, which is why he wound up living there. So he lived there temporarily because he had to sort of transport himself away from his old home that burned down while he was working on a case about a major fire that yielded like $22 million in reparations. And for life lost because of a washer of a dryer. So the result of the case was that there was a malfunction of a dryer at a major apartment complex like Green Valley something, owned by Scully Developers, S-C-U-L-L-Y. And anyway, some sort of malfunction led to a fire, and as a result of the fire in the laundry area of this major complex, there was a loss of 1 or 2 lives. So people actually did pass away, I'm told, so it's not some fake orchestrated situation for whatever reason people would wind up doing something like that, you know. But anyway, so he wound up there needing a dog walker. I was walking dogs on the side through a special outfit called Philipets. So a bunch of people walked through that outfit. And they had a really neat like computer logon system, and you could order your dog walker, if you will, and you know, you didn't necessarily wind up with the same dog walker all the time. It was based on people's schedules, so even dog walkers had freedom. You know, I could pick up the walk on Tuesday. I can't pick it up on Thursday, but maybe somebody else can who works for Philipets. So they had a whole team of lots of dog walkers, and they just picked and chose when they could work. It's kind of like Shipt these days, where you pick and choose the orders you can take, or the time slots, or DoorDash time slots you can work. It's sort of in that realm. And they use a whole computer system, and no, you don't find that any longer. I don't even know, does Monster Minders have it? Or anyways, really sophisticated system, and people who understood software and IT might have helped create it. So, and owned the company Philipets. So anyway, I wound up walking this dog. The problem was every once in a while the dog would lunge at blue-collar workers or other dogs. And it's like, that is crazy. But I wondered if there was a setup at one point, because I was trying to get this, it was a Rottweiler Shepherd mix or similar. Brownie, his name. This is so many years ago that, or her name, I forget. Anyway, I'm trying to get the dog into the elevator in the lobby to go back up after returning from a walk, and some guy comes waltzing around. He was a little bit over the top, but he appeared to be one of the blue-collar workers there to work on, say, plumbing or anything in that manner, and sure enough, Brownie started to get all riled up and lunged and bit his like sleeve of his shirt, and I was like, oh no.